Shalom, shalom, Yasharal. Shalom, shalom, Mishpachah. Just wanted to, prophesy to you. Yes, I will be prophesying. I am prophesying. So I had a very extreme revelation about the construct, the mark of the beast, everything that's happening, that's going on right now today, the great delusion. And this message is for the saints, the very elect. You're going to understand what I'm talking about. But just so we're clear what I'm talking about, let me ask you this. How many of you are going through a sense of paranoia, delusion, like you feel like everything is subliminally speaking to you? Raise your hand. If you know what I'm talking about. This is the judgment for the elect. We're being tested. Everybody else, for the most part, already failed. It's like a cross-dimension thing. There's an alternate power, an alternate universe reality, an alternate reality universe power where it's cross-intermingled. And I believe that, a lot of people that were already judged right now in this reality that didn't make it were pulled out of their bodies. Hey, you can take it how you want. Maybe I'm just a crazy guy. No harm, no foul. I'm not threatening. This is called my philosophy, okay? But this is what I discern by the Ruach. For those of you who want to be considered the saints, if you're the saints, if you're part of that, the Kodashim. Hold on. Spiritual warfare is heavy upon us. But this is for those who consider themselves, the saints. What's the other word for it that I was just using? All right, let me get to the point here. We're being tested right now. This is a theory. Let's just call it a theory, but to me it's true in my heart because I've experienced it. I feel like I had divine revelation by the Ruach on it. But in a sense, for the most part, everybody already didn't make it. In a sense, they were already judged. And let's just say that we're already at the end, right? Let's fast forward to the future. And, everybody that's judged and all this and that was condemned and are going to hell. Well, the saints that did make it, right? The ones that do make it, the few remnant, well, they did a pretty good job. They did their best, in keeping in, keeping in YAHUSHA, keeping their mind on YAHUSHA and obeying his commandments. Well, it's as if the demons asked permission to go back in time to the present time and occupy the bodies of those that didn't make it, and just play mind games with them. A great delusion, and or just pretty much trip them up. Manifest in the flesh, trip them up. But in this reality, this second go around, this is why we feel the spiritual power is heightened up. It's not that the spiritual power is just necessarily heightened up in present time. We're seeing more stronger spiritual warfare and all that. But it's more that the original version at the judgment, demons asked permission to go back to test the elect. There's the word I'm looking for. Demons asked permission to go back through time and test the elect in these times. So that's why we feel spiritual warfare, demonic spiritual warfare has heightened. It's not that it just heightened in present time. They actually came back through time and have occupied the world around us to trip us up one last time. It's their last stand, and it's only picking up. And you can test this. See if I'm not lying. Test this. This is how you test it. Forsake everything you love. Forsake everything you know. don't give it your attention. Don't give music your attention. Don't give people's conversations your attention. Don't give your thoughts your attention. Nothing. Only keep your mind on Yahusha. Only keep your mind on Yahusha. Just communicate with him and just learn to strongly like connect that connection. Catch that frequency. You know when you catch a frequency on AM or something, it's a little staticky, and you keep messing with the knob and it's buzzy, but you're trying to lock it in. Lock it in. Find that station. You know what I'm talking about, when you're walking and you're connected to Yahusha and you can kind of feel his presence right above you in the heavens. You know that feeling? How many of you have that when you're praying and you're mindful of Yahusha, you're focused on him, you're like focused on him right above you in the sky and the throne. That focus, that frequency. Keep that, lock that. Don't entertain anything else. And I mean, like when you're going through the midst of it, when you're at work or when you're around a lot of people, and watch how stuff just weird things just start happening. And I'll give you an example, and this is real. All of a sudden, it's like the TV's saying something that's talking about what you're thinking about in a way, like what you're praying about, and they're like, oh, he's been going long for now, he's been going for a long time. Talking about like the connection, they're connecting to Yah, and they're like, I don't know, I think he's gonna break pretty soon, like stuff like that. And then somebody else walked by, I'm like, man, he's still holding on that, talking to somebody else, but they're talking about you still holding on to connection, yeah, just like, and it's second by second live action play, like everything you're thinking is happening, that being talked about, or like you accidentally like look at something, give into it, and like, oh, you're like, why'd you drop, like all sounds like you dropped some, you lost your connection. So, but then you hear like, people like, oh man, you dropped it, da 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 da, and you're like, what the heck is going on? Come back to connection. Why? Because you're the elect. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, you might be on autopilot and you might not make it. And I'm just gonna keep it real, but might change the future for you. You might be able to change that if you really hearken to my words. Really hearken to my words, because if they can go back through time and try to change it up to deceive the very elect, then that gives everybody fair game right now to hearken to my words and practice what I'm preaching and listen to what I'm saying. Watch, test it, focus on Yahusha amongst your world, nothing else, let nothing have your desire, cut off all the desires of your heart, and watch to see if the things around you don't start speaking to you. You walk by, the radio says something, the TV compliments it, someone walking by says it, and it's just like, then all of a sudden, they'll come up with different attacks to get your attention off your connection to Yah. All of a sudden, they bring up my favorite movie, my favorite song, my favorite food, stuff I did in my past that was humiliating, like subliminally, like they'll code it step by step, it's like boom, 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 like little, I'm talking about little nuggets, like little, like chick, 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 like a situation, like part of what happened in the situation embedded, in a line, and then someone's talking about something else and embeds the part of what happened in another line, like every other line kind of thing, and you're just like trying to stay connected to Yah. Someone's like, hey, careful with that, things about to bust, like just like, and I'm telling you, man, and now I know I'm not going crazy, because the reason that attack came was because I just said, you know what, I'm done with everything, Yah, I'm connecting straight to you, and everything was all cool, everything was, world day as usual, work as usual, this, that, and, regular communication, and, just trying to share the word just now. So, like, you know what, I'm going to go straight to Yah, and it's like, all of a sudden, everything's screaming at you, like, hey, trying to knock you off your arc, trying to get you out your arc, and that's the truth. That's the truth. Shalom, shalom, sister. And that's the truth. That's what we're going through. So, I want to let you know, spiritual alternate universe, demons came back through time, trip up the elect one last time. For those of you who know what I'm talking about, it's like everything's attacking you subliminally, like even your thoughts are against you, like when you try to focus on Yah, other thoughts try to come in, or just do your best to stay connected to Yahusha only, committedly. If you've done that, if you know how to do that, like where you can feel his presence in the sky, like, like you're just connected, not about word knowledge or head knowledge, and I'm talking about like a real deep, intimate connection where you're just, you know, like puppet on a string to him. Like you're just going where he goes. He's just right above you, and your mind's on him, and everything will start speaking to you. And the world, everything will speak to you in a way to get your attention off him. Watch. See if I'm not lying. And if that happens, you're under attack, and you're a possible candidate, a probable for a candidate for the elect. You know, that's what that means. You're a runner-up. You're a forerunner. You're making it. You know what I mean? And they're trying to trip you up if that's your reality. Because right now we're like in cross dimensions. So I mean, I won't get into that. But if you hear this and you're real, to those of you, he hearken to what I'm talking about. You know, hearken to what I'm talking about. I'll give you more later because I'm, you know, as far as what Yah's giving me, got no more. But meditate on this, watch this video again, and you know, really take it in and see what I'm saying. But you know, may Yahuwah favor you and increase you, guard you and protect you, be gracious to you, shine His face upon you, lift His countenance upon you, His presence be on you and upon you, within you, guard you, and may He give you shalom. And may He strengthen your faith. May you abide in Him. May you stay abided in Him always. We're in the last days. This is the message. I received the message. Right now, we are at the judgment. This is the judgment live happening. We're before the throne. Imagine it's all a hologram, but we're just sitting in front of Yahusha, and He's just watching how we roll. You know, so when all of a sudden the lights come on and He's standing there, He's like, I've been watching this whole time. Like, just treat it that way. You know, we got to be like the messengers. You know, He says that we'll be like the messengers. He ain't going to make us like the messengers automatically. We have to be prepping ourselves up to be like the messengers. So what are the messengers like? They're connected to Yah and everything they're doing. They're not seeking their own pleasures, their own desires. In all ways, acknowledge Yah, Yahusha, and the Torah. It is the Torah spiritual. So, like, you know, you help out your enemy who hates you. You know, you don't hate him. You love everybody. You know, if someone's doing something they shouldn't be doing, you don't judge them. You don't condemn them. Let that Yah be the judge for that. You just do what you're supposed to do. Walk out your own salvation with fear and trembling. You're going to be tested. If you're not seeing what I'm seeing when I'm talking about subliminals, because you haven't reached that last level yet. It's the last level, hardest game part. You got to overcome selfishness. You know, like, this person, like all that little, you know, frustration stuff, fleshly, emotional stuff. You got to get past your emotions. You know, like, it's probably harder with spouses because it's all about meeting each other's emotional needs. I understand. Maybe that's why y'all separated me. I ain't gonna lie. I believe in now it's predestination. That I was separate. I'm not saying separate your spouse, but both of you hearken to my words together and like be like partners. Don't worry about each other no more. Like, you know, fulfilling each other like that. Like, remember what Paul said, those who are married, be as though you're not married. In other words, be prayed up, stay in Yahusha. Don't have any fleshly desires, emotional desires so much. Like, do your best to be selfless towards each other and respect that. You know, like, make it easy on each other and understand, like, we're in the last days. It ain't about pleasing the flesh no more. You know, we're gonna be like the messengers. We gotta walk like the messengers. You know, messengers, they don't get shaken up. You know, I could, you know, there's a certain, you know, a rule. You know, it's like a law. You know, between messengers, I'm talking about angels and demons. You know, they have an order still that demons even have to respect, and we're like the manifested version of them. You know, they don't just like out here fight and do whatever they want, you know, however they can. They have to ask Yahusha permission. You know, when Yahusha was there, he wasn't like going off on them, screaming at them. You know, it was order. You know, they're like, are you the Son of Man coming to, you know, destroy us or condemn us before the time? And he's like, I am. And then they're like, please cast us into those pigs. Actually, I believe Yahusha said in one of the Gospels, you know, what do you want from me? Like, what would you want me to do? So Yahusha was even asking him, it wasn't, you know, it's order. And they said, cast us into those pigs. And he's like, done. You know, like, it wasn't like how you think. Everybody's just playing their part. In the same way, you know, there's a lot of duality where people one moment will play you know, good, like you're leading them towards things and that, then they'll switch on you and be, you know, capturing you in. So it's all about who's hooking who. You know what I mean? Because either you're influencing them for or they're influencing you in the world. So we gotta not give in to what they're doing, because they might hear a word, then they might crack a few dirty jokes, and that's where we stumble. Those get counted against us when we laugh at a dirty joke, give in to a dirty joke, you know, entertaining the dirty jokes they're saying. That's why, you know, it says do not sit in the council of the wicked or the scornful and all that. Nope, you don't know, you don't point fingers, you know, when people are gossiping about other people, you run out to the other side and don't listen to it. And this brings us to my next one. Watch, I'm telling you, when you, that's what I'm talking about. Those are the testings too that we go through. So when you understand that you're trying to keep focused on you're not entertaining anything at all, no selfish emotions, you don't need any of this flesh, you're ready to go. That's what it means to be like the messenger. You know, what messenger? Imagine a messenger, an angel coming down to heaven, right, to do a mission, and yet he's all caught up about his needs. You know what I mean? Like, when's my time? You know, or his job, and like he's worried about the car, like, you know, little things. Like, nah, bro, you're a messenger. Like, what you doing getting worried about all that? So you got to be that devout, like you're a messenger for the kingdom. You are. Where the kingdom is upon us, is within us. So we're like the messengers already. So we're transformed. Basically, this is to be made like them. You know, when Yahusha was being mocked, spit, ridiculed, or all of that, beaten, he stayed silent. You got to stay silent too. You know, they're going to say a lot of things. They're going to want to catch your attention, even though, you know, it's worldly. You can't help it. They're going to watch. You're going to notice, why is it things that always tug at me? You know, why does everybody have things that always talk like it speaks to them? You know, like for me, it's things that always speak to me. For you, it's probably whatever it is that speaks to you when you're around things, around, you know, situations and people. And yeah, you can call it the universe, but it's a demonic construct. And it's testing you to take your attention and keep loving the world, keep interested in our world. Yeah, you love our world, don't you? Yeah, you like that conversation, didn't you? I bet you like that dirty joke, huh? Oh, you like that cute guy? Like, you can't even look at the guys or the girls no more. You gotta just, you know what I mean? Girl, bend over, look away. Like, right now is the judgment. I hope you get what I'm saying. Right now is the judgment. Everything's being counted and checked in, and when you do have a quick mistake, oh, yeah, forgive me. Like, don't count against my credit. No credit to my account. You know, don't credit to my account. You know, like, he's already like, did you just, you know, you have to be like, nope, I did, but I don't want it. That's what I do in my heart. Like, I don't want it. You know what I mean? Like, it's not mine. It's not mine. My eyes on you. My heart is on you. And then so it brings me to my last step. A couple more. Last step is to be in Yahusha. That parable that I posted about, like where it says, you know, it's like we're waiting for the master. It's more like waiting for your daddy. Like, imagine you're a kid and you got dropped off at an orphanage. You got dropped off at some, you know, bunk. I don't want to say bunk, but like, you just got dropped off at a child care. You don't know any of the kids. They're playing strange games you don't even know about. And these strange games are against rules your dad told you. You know, your dad gave you a set of rules and dropped you off at a child care, and they're playing strange games that are kind of like perverted, or like, you know, sexual or immoral, speaking a different language, or like saying things you know you shouldn't be saying. I mean, let's just keep it simple. But nonetheless, you're at a child daycare. And if you're a child that's really close to his dad and attached, and that's all you know, and you randomly get dropped off, what are you doing all day? Man, you missing dad. In your heart, you're crying. You just can't wait for dad to pick you up. You're just sad and depressed, kind of. You're happy you can't wait, but you just want dad to pick you up. You're not entertaining any of that. You know, you find your own little spot, you know, doing what you got to do while you're at the daycare, but you're waiting for dad to come pick you up. And that is the heart we need to have. That is the code. Like, Yah gave me the code to crack the code. What it means to abide in him, like what it means to be saved, to be found in Yahusha, to be in the art of salvation spiritually, is to be in a state where your mind is just Yahusha, Yahusha, Yahusha. It's just boom, like it's just connected, and like you're broken hearted, you're waiting for daddy to pick you up. Because right now he's getting pretty close, about to pick us up. I promise you. That's the word he gave me, with a little bit of hint of fire, a little testimony of fire in my heart. And he said, put this word out. It's a true word. So I'm going to say it. It's almost here. And now, don't get me wrong. Don't consider me a false prophet if it don't happen this week. 2 months or in a year, because that's the same message Noah was preaching for 120 years. Okay? And he was saying it's right around the corner, it's happening. So, but it is. So, I mean, because it's 120 years, but how long did it take him to build that ark? How long did it take Noah to build that ark? You know, it wasn't near, and then he had to build it in a day. No, there was time to build it. What does that symbolize? You know, I don't know how long it took him to build the ark. Probably took him, you know, almost 120 years or something to the end. But that's telling you, our spiritual ark, we have to build up. That's what everything I just talked about, everything I just described. The ability to stay connected to Yahusha is part of building that ark. The ability to not entertain worldly conversations and like be able to tune it out. That's building the walls of the ark. You know, be connected to Yahusha is the foundation of the ark. You're gonna float with that. You know, but when the waves hit the walls, you know, to make sure water don't come in and wipe you right out, you gotta put them walls up. So when people say things, you're not engaging. You're not hearing it. You're not hearing the worldly construct, because that's pulling your conscience out of the ark spiritually, and you're already sitting in the world, being ready to be consumed by the fire. To stay in the ark, you gotta learn to tune your ears to build the walls. You gotta learn to tune your ears so you don't see no evil, hear no evil, don't judge nobody, preach the truth. You don't gotta preach. Now we just kind of wait. Everybody's heard. You know, the wheats and tares are growing up together. Tare can't turn into a wheat anymore. Simple as that. Like, it's already grown up, but it can happen. Like I said, this is the last stand. You know, demons has permission to come back through time for one last chance to deceive the world, the elect. That's why we have such a heightened spiritual demonic warfare that's coming up right now. People hearing each other's thoughts, you know, knowing what people are thinking, you know, and all that. That's the demonic warfare I'm talking about. And they know when you're putting attention on them, you're worshiping them. You're worshiping the demons behind them. They don't understand what it is. They're probably on autopilot. But it's the demons that have taken over. And so it's all heightened. But whenever you get people attention, like in a way where it's kind of like a pleasure, lust, and you're enjoying it, it's worldly though, it's like you jumped out of the ark and you're giving worship to these demons. But go back to what I said, one last stand. This is the last shot. Demons asked to come back through time, so we got to really remain in Him. We're feeling the construct, and it is possible. Aaron's stick. Remember, Aaron's staff started budding, right? Aaron's stick was a dead stick, wasn't even connected to a root or nothing, right? And what happened with that stick? It budded, right? It budded a fig tree or fruit. I forgot what it was, but he put it inside the Ark of the Covenant, right? That's symbolic that those of you who didn't make it that first version, this is your last chance. This is your second chance. Learn to connect to Yah. Forsake your idols. I'm telling you, everything that takes your attention, that you draw yourself to, it's that serious. Smash your TV. I'm telling you, if you got TV, smash it. Any attention that you take away from Yahusha, you're already in the water, you know, in the world, about to be consumed by fire. I promise you, you're going to get consumed by fire. I promise you. I've seen it because they were testing it on me. They were trying to get me to jump out my ark. And the longer I stayed connected to Yahusha, they threw everything they had. So I saw what it takes to be out, because I saw when I, you know, just took my mind off, it was, oh, we got them. You know, the subliminals around it, because at this point, they don't care. They're going to be very blunt. They're coming out of their woodworks, you know, and so in all the subliminal messaging and, you know, world speaking and like noise and everything, it was speaking loud. So I get it. For 1 second, you're disconnected, you're done. Wait, so you're saying I got to learn to keep my mind connected to Yahusha 24/7? Yes, that's what I'm saying. But like I said, Noah didn't build that ark in a day. So we have a little bit of time to train your mind, your heart, mind, body, soul, to stay connected to Yah. You know, our dad's coming back to pick us up. Put it that way. You know, imagine that this is just child care. Dad's gonna pick us up. And those of you who in the previous reality, who didn't accept it, and you got some awareness, you're hearing this is your chance to be like that rod of Aaron, that budded fruit, even though it's already uprooted. For a tear to become a wheat, you got one more chance. Or what's another version of that? There's another parable of that. You know, the stick that budded. There's another one, but yeah, basically that's what that means, for the tear to become a wheat. It's the last stand. Again, forsake your idols. You know, your TV, smash them. Worldly pleasures, routines, break it. It's time to stay in prayer. Prayer is the key. Constant communication with YAHUSHA, to be in you, to be filled with Him, abiding in Him. Listen to nothing but sermons and messages, like meditating in Him, keeping your lamp filled with the Ruach, with things of Him and His kingdom. Whatever it takes. Praise and worship music. Praise Him. Cry out to Him. Have that intimate relationship with Him. Do it as a family. All well. Maybe not everybody in that household is going to make it. And I'm just telling you the truth. It says 2 are grinding at the mill, and 1 is taken and 1 is left behind. So, I mean, it's the truth. So, everybody fear and trembling. Work out your own salvation, but at least you set the order. Everybody pray. What did the disciples do before they got baptized with the fire of the Ruach in Acts 2? He said, wait for me there, right? What were they doing that whole time? Man, they were just praying. They weren't watching TV, eating chips. You know what I'm saying? They were praying. So you got to stay prayed up. Their mind, they learn to connect. They connected to that frequency of Yah together and prayerful, probably prophesying each other, reading each other's mind, and the, set apart sense in the kingdom of Yah sense, and became one mind. That's how they were one mind. And boom, fire came. And, tongues of fire. So, last thing. Oh, this is the last thing. This one's the last thing. Yes, it is going to be that hard, right? Like, man, but my kids. I'm telling you, y'all gave me every bit of it. But my kids, how can I teach them this? How can show them this message? Show them this message. People do better when they hear from someone else. And teach them not to look to the left or to the right when they're at school, not to be entertaining other kids, trying to impress them and this and that, and get involved and talk as they do. And they're probably doing the dances anyways, right? You're probably like, damn, but my kids are already doing the dance and doing the dirt. They're probably leading the way. I mean, right? It's not all of us. So here's what we do. Here's what y'all gave me. We do gotta flee. We do gotta come together, because when we're together, we got the same truth. We are one already, right? This is why you're loving what I'm saying, right? Because everything I'm saying, in your heart is true by the Ruach, right? Because we're not the same as people in the world. We're set apart. We're separate. We've been built up in this understanding, and you have it, right? So imagine if we are around each other all the time. We're not going to trip each other up. We're not going to talk back behind each other. We're not going to deceive each other. We're not going to, bring up worldly conversations around each other. We're not going to tempt each other. We're not going to be checking out each other's spouses. We're not going to do any of that. You can't if you're set apart. And those of you who really fear, know it's that real and will actually make the move. Because what we got to do, I prayed, how do we do it then? Kids are in school, like I always said before, man, the kids are going to get swallowed up, because the kids of this age, the world, is gone. And I'm sorry to offend anybody who is of the world and don't believe and and your kid's doing the most and it's all okay with you. I'm not trying to offend you, and don't take it the wrong way, but I don't know what you think about it, but you don't have to think anything if that's how you feel. But to those who want to be the elect, who understand what's going on, and here we are growing amongst it, you gotta be wise, man. Can't do this. What did Lot do when he was in Sodom and Gomorrah, right? What did it say about them? It said that they were in torment. They were in mourning because of the sins of the wickedness around them in the city that they had to endure. Just watching it, seeing it, shook them up their spirit. we're in the same days. It's Sodom and Gomorrah again, where people are constantly making dirty jokes, subliminal jokes, profanity, talking back behind each other. Everyone, it's all good, but really, if you're the elect, you're the one being talked about, but in a real, covert, hostile way. And they might perceive it as their own joke, but it's a demonic influence. We see the demon behind it. We feel the presence of the demon and the hate behind it. They might be on autopilot. That's what I'm saying. Like, I'm not judging anybody that does that, who jokes coarsely. That's why the word says, let there be no coarse jesting amongst you. Such is not profitable for the saints. Coarse jesting comes from demonic influence. It's everywhere, see? Didn't I tell you I was going to prophesy? Told you, right? Yeah, told me you're going to prophesy. I'm going to tell you everything to speak. And he's been telling me everything to speak step by step. I'm on. Praise Yah. Alright. Let me gather my thoughts. Forgive me, Yah. See, I lost connection for a second. That's all it takes. That noise and me like doing a quick shout out. Already. Hold on. Let me connect to Yah again. Hold on. Okay. So yeah, we got to come together. Here's the word. So Yah was letting me test you, world. Not you, Facebook. I mean, like, Facebook's the system. The world, the system. Why? If a lot of you been following me in the past, you know that there was a time a while back, and forgive me for, I don't know what was going on. It was kind of weird. I was just dealing with something I had to get out of the way, like polygamy and this and that. But yeah, I burnt it out, as you have seen. That was something that I was struggling with, like, because of the doctrine. But once I burnt that out, whoo, freedom, deliverance, because now I ain't about that no more. So all that was a shadow. But during that time, I was talking about how we need to come together as Israel, as Yahusha. So I was using that as a way to build a nation. Around that time, every time I posted about coming together in with land and all that, growing our own food and being, a community and all that, we don't have to grow our own food. We might have to, because I'm just thinking, like, if we mix it up with some kind of world city, it's just going to contaminate. Like, we can't do our kids in those schools. Plain and simple, like, we got to take our kids out of those schools. That's the truth. Like, we got to find those people who have already sold everything and bought land. There's people, brothers, if you're watching this, you know who you are. You invited me a few months back. You're a Hispanic brother, young guy, and you told me you had like 20 acres of land, and I'm more than welcome to come. If you know somebody's got land and they're inviting you to go, yes, go. And they're growing food, help them, whatever it takes. Now's the time to pull out. I'm telling you, now's the time to pull out. Take your kids out. The construct is too strong for them. That's why kids are getting suicidal, they're depressed. I mean, if you're the elect, if your kid's the elect, they're struggling because they're trying to be the elect too. But they struggle harder than we do, because peer pressure as for kids is a mother truck, as they say. That's what I heard. It's just so we can relate. Peer pressure for kids is too strong. They will not make it. And that's the sacrifice to call. You love them that much, we got to pull out. Lot, that's where I was. Lot, Sodom and Gomorrah. Do you think they were just going around having, shooting ball with the people in the community there? Do you think that they were like getting, participating in the worldly events they're doing in Sodom and Gomorrah? No, they were keeping to themselves. Like, dang, what's going on? Like, when is Yah coming, right? But they kept to themselves, and even the mom looked back, So I mean, his wife. So I mean, and those were grown girls and all that. But I mean, the construct, the Sodom and Gomorrah of this age is too strong for kids. They're gonna think we're crazy. They gotta see other kids like-minded, like faith. So we gotta go to these communities. You gotta, ask people who are doing it, who are going to these communities, and save up money. Go with them, take your kids. That way your kids have fellowship, and we raise our kids together in the truth. Simple as that, if you don't want to lose your kids. I mean, I don't know. That's just what love does, right? You get out of there. So that's what it means to get out of Babylon. I mean, we still got to be a part of the system to some extent, but we do our best to not. So that's the last step right there. All right, that's the last step. So stay connected to Yahusha. Don't entertain no conversations at all. Actually, you can't, because like everything is either, like I've always said, fleshly desired or demonically inspired of the world. Now look what I've said. Is anything I said fleshly desired or demonically inspired? Of course not. Everything we say is only prophesying all the time to this point. That's it. We're at that age where it says, and people shall prophesy, you know, the old people dream dreams, and, you know, young people have visions and all that. We're already there. The moon has turned to blood already. We saw the blood moons. That's what that was. The sun is darkened. In other words, there's darkness, spiritual darkness on the earth now. You know, that's how you take it. And the only thing we speak is prophesying. We got no business engaging in conversation with the world. Why? Because when you do that, you're making a covenant. You're connecting your souls, and there's no agreement. Lest two walk in agreement. You know, two cannot be in a covenant unless they walk in agreement. We're not. You know, so we're not yoked. Can't be yoked with unbelievers. I mean, for now, we gotta say what we gotta say to do our job. Keep it work related. You know, we gotta do what we gotta do. But, you know, everybody's prophesying now. Everybody, that's what that is. When you hear people making these subliminal jokes, they're demonically prophesying. That's what the world's doing. They don't realize that they're on autopilot. They embrace it. They think it's like some, you know, wise, spiritual, intellect. I don't even think they consider it spiritual. They just think they're so intelligent. You know, they consider them, it just comes to them like boom, boom, boom. They already got the word before you even do anything. They're already one step ahead because it's demonically inspired. But they love it. It's power in their hands. They feel strong and intelligent. It gives them power. You know, the devil gives the world the kingdoms of the earth. The devil gives the world the kingdom in the atmosphere, in their vicinities. You know, and they'll use it. They got no pride. They got no shame. They got no problem. They got no shame doing it. So when you hear people doing subliminal jokes, you know, not even subliminal jokes, subliminal sarcasm, that's demonic tongues. They're prophesying demonically at you. If you engage in it, you're already making a covenant with that. And you've already jumped out of the ark. Even if you're trying to defend yourself and fight back, you jumped out of the ark just to fight back. You know, that's why we don't fight back. You got to keep love in your heart and humility. Be as Yahusha. He gave the example. We're the walking fulfillment of his ministry. We stay silent. That's it. Right now, they're mocking us. They're spitting in our face in the spirit, and we stay silent. We don't got no business talking to them if we already gave them the message and they rejected it. We're just here to work, stay silent till Yahusha comes back, or he makes an opportunity for me to leave and be, united with our people, be united as a community somewhere where we don't have to worry about this, or we'll have oneness, achad, abidingness in the ruach, having all things in common like we do right now, right? We have all things in common? We have this in common? Then we need to get together. We need to get together. So if you're watching this and you got land, you got community, and you're inviting people, or you know somebody, tag them in this. It's time to do this. It's time to really make the plans. I'm not saying do it right now. You got to count the cost, of course. But endure to the end. Endure right now while we're still in Babylon. Don't see no evil, hear no evil, engage in evil, and any talk, because everything the world is saying is either demonically inspired or fleshly desired. And you engage with that, you make a covenant with that, you jump out the ark, and you're destined. Like you're already your eyes are off them and you're sinking. That's what that's talking about. You took your eyes off Yahusha and you're done. You're going down. Simple as that. My mind's connected to Yahusha right now. He's all I think about. Is that how your mind is? Or are you just, you know, to those Christians maybe, not judging, but, you know, I was like a Christian, traditional Christian. I understand, maybe you have that reality where you believe, you have them in your heart, you go to church, you pay your dues, right? You go to church, that's like, you did what you're supposed to do, you paid your dues, now it's time to go back to the world, you know, and back to NFL, back to the Cowboys, you know, back to the money, back to the work, back to business as usual, and Jesus is just your genie, your source of, and you pray. But nah, but you don't know, right? You're probably thinking, I get blessed, you know, like he's blessed me. He makes it shine on the righteous and the wicked, sweetheart. Yah makes it rain on the righteous and the wicked. And he'll give you what you want. He'll give everybody the desires of your heart. If you want the world, you can have the world. Have all the blessings. That's why Luke says, those who are rich will mourn them. Those who are filled will be hungry. For what? For life, for the truth. They're going to be hungry for Yahusha, for eternal life, wishing they had him. You know, those who laugh now, life is good, YOLO, you know, living the dream, you know, all of that kind of talk. Another day in paradise. I'm telling you, man, it's pretty far off. You got to be born again right now. If you got idols, I'm telling you right now, when I get home, I'm going to break my TV. Simple as that. This is eternal life we're talking about. We don't got time to play with it. Break your TV. Get in the Word. Hey, you don't maybe I don't understand, it can be overbearing. Like, dang, we gotta do the Word all day. Just lay there, pray, meditate, be in prayer, like the 12 were before the Ruach came upon them. Because I'm telling you, those who are abiding right now, real strong, there's gonna be a moment where we get the Ruach pulled upon us with fire, and we'll be for a moment getting a chance to go out there and spread the message with actual power to raise the dead, heal the sick, make the lame walk, right? Heal the blind, all of that. We're going to be performing miracles. And if your mind wasn't abiding in Yahuwah, you expect you're just going to be watching the Cowboys game, or you're going to be doing whatever you want, and all of a sudden fire's just going to hit you? Nah, man, you got to stay in them. So when he comes back, when he brings out the fire, those who's already connected to him, we got our spiritual antenna pointed at him, we're going to receive it. Alright, man, I don't mean to drag on and keep getting repetitive, but I hope you understand what I'm talking about. Start back the video, catch the first part too, because that's basically what I'm saying is the world is yelling at us, all demonic construct now, speaking through people, through cars, through noises, and when your mind's on Yah, you'll notice it. That's the challenge I want to give you first off. That's what I want you to get when you start back, but I'll tell you now. Test this theory to see, the demonic constructs. You can see how real it is. Put all your mind, your soul, your strength, your energy, only focusing on Yahusha. Where, like, literally do what it takes. Like, you probably be kind of like appearing dumb, like you're kind of like lost and zoned out. Who cares what you look like? You're trying to stay connected to Yahusha. Until you capture that frequency, you're gonna look a little lost and aimless and scary or whatever. Like, I don't know, but walking around while you're doing it. And I see it now. Everybody's kind of looking around, clearing away, because they already know I'm connected. So, that's all I got for you. Shalom, shalom. Abba Yahuwah, favor and increase you all. Let's get together, pull your kids out, unite, stay abiding. Don't entertain nothing of the world. Don't entertain your own thoughts. You gotta rebuke your own thoughts if it ain't prophesying to you, if it ain't praiseworthy, if your thoughts aren't ministering to you, rebuke them. If whatever's happening ain't speaking the revelation of Yah to you, don't listen to it. Like, you hear something, don't pick it up. Don't look to the left, don't look to the right. Look straight ahead. Literally. I mean that literally too. In all your ways, don't look to the left, to the right, only look straight ahead. In your mind, only be straight ahead towards Yah. And your desires, only on Yahusha and His kingdom. And what you're doing, do what you're doing, but be so focused on Yah, you're not even focused, you're just straight ahead. Like, don't look to the left, to the right, take interest in that billboard, in that restaurant, don't do it. That's giving into it. You're making a covenant. Alright, that's all I got. It's all unclean. That's what it means. Don't touch the unclean thing. Didn't mean physically touching with your spirit in the ruach, in the spiritual realm. Don't give it your interest. Don't give it your interest, your desire. None of that. It's done. It's abandoned ship. The ship's going down. world's going down, ship's going down. We're not looking back to the, let me hit the bottom one last time, you know, before it goes underwater. No, we're trying to jump into the life raft connected to Yahusha. I don't know, I gotta say it. Yaki's telling me, give me words to keep saying it, but that's the message. It's like, keep that repetitive thought, meditate on all that over and over on your mind. Let that be your song. Let that be your thought. Let that be your desire. Stay connected to him constantly. Don't engage in no conversations with the world. Only what you need to. I mean, someone says something, you gotta respond. Keep it quick, keep it simple. You ain't gotta make it funny. You ain't gotta crack a joke. You're giving the demons behind those people worship. I swear, I promise. Just like, yep, you know, red, red, blue, blue. Yep, I'm just trying to. Thank you. Okay, thank you. Because I mean, it's that serious. Wheat and tares. It's already being separate. It's gonna separate. It's gonna be pulled out. Anyways, that's all I got. Yahuwah increase you, favor you. Yahuwah guard you, protect you. Yahuwah make his face shine upon you and be gracious to you. Yahuwah lift his countenance upon you, put his presence on you, and guide you and abide in you, and you and him. Unite us all in his ruach and give you shalom. In Yahusha's name, Amen. Praise Yah, Mishpachah. Praise Yahuwah and Yahusha. Amen, amen, amen. Praise you, Abba. Thank you, Dad. In Yahusha's name, amen.